To know and grow and express yourself as a whole being requires you to be in touch with your body, mind, and spirit. And those things aren't going to be found on the other side of a screen.
The point of life and the point of existence here is to tap deeper into who you are, what you know, that conscious connection that you have, that authenticity that only you can bring. If we're expecting a computer to replace that, a computer to replace our words, our computer to replace the knowledge that we have, then you're giving away your power and ultimately you're disconnecting from your soul.
Hi, I am Lee Dunlap, and this is the Oracle on Purpose podcast.
I am Carrie Cardozo. We are excited to be here today together to answer some of your questions that you guys have that wanted to ask the psychic and the Oracle. So we're going to be answering some questions from our audience today. Is AI enhancing human intuition or is it replacing it? And I will tell you, we've had a little bit behind the scenes conversation about AI, and this is something that I have been having kind of like backroom conversations with my clients as well as my colleagues because AI seems to be so popular. And I don't know if it's in your world, but I feel like it's all over my Facebook feed. Like, can't get away from it. And one of the things that I try to speak about to my clients is that AI can never replace intuition ever. It's the one thing that I feel like AI can't do. It's not intuitive. It's built off of logic. It's built off of strategy. It's built off of the information you feed it or people feed it. So there is no clear channel connection with intuition. There's no clear energy running through it. It is what you've programmed it or what it has programmed in order to reiterate to you. So in regard to, is it building your intuition? It depends on how you use it. So it isn't going to replace intuition, but when you're using AI, and I have found this with several of the things that I've put into AI, because recently I heard somebody say, they said to me, you can learn anything, just pop it into AI and ask AI. And I was like, cool, challenge accepted. AI, teach me how to become psychic. And the information it gave me, absolutely not. So it can help you to enhance your intuition if you're using it while you're using AI. So as AI gives you information, you should always be running it through your intuition to say, does this sound like me? Does this feel like me? Is this actually correct? So I always say, like, you've got to take AI for what it is. It is programmed. It cannot replace your intuition, but it can absolutely take you out of your power if you rely on it for all of the information instead of running it through your intuition.
I definitely think that is so true. And I think when we look at AI and the intuitive feeling that we get from AI, I think we falsely believe that it's going to tell us things, right? But I think that we forget that we are interacting with that. And as you said, it's like our own intuition is what's guiding us to ask certain questions that will receive certain responses that are pre-programmed because they are being used through a filter. So it's not so much that I think AI will replace intuition. I don't think it could because it's not able to. But I think the bigger question is, why are you trying to get away from your own soul's intuition? Like, what is the benefit of reaching out to an AI machine to connect with your own self? And that, I think those are the places where people are needing to have better conversations about what is it you're trying to achieve by using AI. I think AI is great. Use it all the time. But of course, I'm using it as a tool and I see it as a tool. And I understand that as a tool, it's limited to what it can actually provide for me. And so it needs to work for me. I don't work for it. And I wouldn't allow it to tell me what to do with my life. So that's what I think. Yeah, definitely.
So the question is, does AI have a soul and can it ever develop spiritual consciousness? So no, AI does not have a soul. It does have an energetics to it though. And having a soul and having energetics are different. When we look at energetics, it is all the pieces of you. So it's anything that you hold, any emotion that you have, any thought that you have. It's anything that you have learned in your life, any experience that you have can feed into and build your energetics. Your soul is one aspect of that energy. It is this concentrated part of this consciousness that you have that is brought within inside this human body when you come into this life. So AI does not have a soul. It can hold in energetics, but I'll tell you what, every single time I read the energy of AI, it's very robotic. It's a very masculine energy. It's a very strategic energy. And as to the consciousness, AI can hold information. So you can feed it information, but my understanding of consciousness is that pure connection. It is in the moment feeding this stream of wisdom that comes through, and that's not what AI does.
I think that the idea of consciousness, and people even contemplating the idea, like, where does AI go? If it can learn all these things from us, we're separating the same thing that Carrie was just saying about, like, the idea that our consciousness is our communication. Our consciousness is not our communication. And if it were, then we wouldn't actually have to communicate verbally anymore.
Right.
So recognizing that, yes, AI can communicate and it can utilize all the stuff we put into it to communicate back to us. But to elevate itself to the level of actually consciously having a communication through itself to you is a totally different. What if you could tap into the law of attraction with precision and power on your terms? I'm Leah Dunlap, and in my audiobook, Power Up the Law of Attraction, I give you the no-fluff blueprint to create a life of purpose, prosperity, and peace. Ready to stop manifesting by accident and start creating with intention? Download Power Up the Law of Attraction now on Audible. Now, back to the show.
So the question is, are AI readings and tarot apps diluting the work of psychics and the true energetics? And this is a hard one because I don't think it doesn't dilute the power of my sessions. So it's not diluting what I'm bringing through. If anything, I feel like when people get like an AI reading, which isn't a real reading, if you're going to AI for a psychic reading, please don't. You could go to AI for an astrological reading because it's going to read there's a science to it.
Yeah.
There's a science to it. Or a human design reading. There is a science to it as long as your AI knows human design. But when we're looking at a psychic reading, we are reading the energetics around somebody. We're reading energetic messages. So it's impossible for AI to give a psychic or an energetic reading. It just can't do that, at least not the AI we have right now. But I don't think it diminishes the power of my sessions. If anything, if you get a reading from AI and then I give you a reading, I'm going to blow your mind because I can see things that you would never have even seen or that AI can't pick up. That's my feeling on it.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about AI, I think this same philosophy and the same storyline goes to, is it going to get rid of writers? Is it going to get rid of it will not get rid of anyone who doesn't want to be gotten rid of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, in other words, like, people fear this as this, like, it's going to take away. But to me, definitely, because not only just the energetics, but there's the interchange between humanity, a person and a person, that will never be replaced by a machine. And ultimately, what information you're receiving from an AI tool is just that. It's just information from a tool. And as the energetics of a psychic message, a reading, a healing, that is in the moment. And that's the other piece I think is beautiful about the work that you and I do, is it is here and it's present. And so it's not about diving in and looking at a bunch of different data. It's about seeing you as a whole person in front of us in the moment and recognizing what messages are coming through for you as a person in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to take this even just one step deeper because as I'm sitting here listening I'm listening also to my guides. And one of the things that I want to reiterate is that I have definitely seen machines and my clients use machines such as a healing machine. And if you take a picture of yourself, or I don't even know exactly how it works, I don't have a Healy, but we can tap it up to like an AI. You can train a computer to read the vibration, the energetic vibration off of you, and it can say, you're holding the energy of fear. This is true. We have machines that do this all the time. I had a client that used to test me on it. She would be like, okay, can you read my energy and tell me what it is? And I'll be like, yeah, it's this, this, this. And she's like, my healing machine said the same thing. And that's true. And they can do that. We have machines that'll read the vibration, the vibrational frequency that you're holding, but it can't tell you why you're holding it. It can't tell you how to release it. It can't tell you where it came from. So the machine will tell you you're holding fear, but where? I can tell you exactly where you're holding that fear, where it originated, what that belief came, and exactly how to switch it. The machine can't do that. It can't look into your past. It can't see the connections that you have. It can't tell what your subconscious energetics are or subconscious beliefs are. So there's a level at which can never replace a true psychic who can look deep within inside. It can't be replaced, at least not yet. Maybe that's a challenge for somebody creating AI, right?
Somebody out there.
Yeah.
I think that's true too. Like if you think about the fact that we are looking at machines as a way to enhance, right? And to speed things up. So to like diagnose, for example, right? That there's something going on, knowing where it happens or what's going on with you and your body, I think that's helpful. But as you said, it's like, and then what? Like you have to move that through you in order for it to really be what it needs to be. Because I don't think that anything happens to us by accident. I don't think any illness happens to us by accident. And so the messages of those things, I think that's the part that having someone who's trusted, psychic, and healer can really pay off in your life. And this isn't like just, oh, I have this, energy sitting in my... Well, I'm going to say, like, we saw an orb on someone recently.
Yeah.
And, so, like, there's a story about the orb, and we can talk more about the energy of the orb. But just because you see the thing doesn't mean you're going to know what to do about it.
Yeah, exactly. Are we teaching AI to mimic spiritual awakening without truly understanding it? I have so many thoughts on spiritual awakening and ascension and all of that kind of stuff. And I do believe that we are training that some people... I don't mean everybody, but some people are training AI to regurgitate what they need to hear and what they want to hear, and it's not always what the truth is. I know a lot of people who will see something or experience something, and they chalk it up to what they want to believe that means. And a true spiritual awakening, true spiritual understanding, true enlightenment that everybody talks about isn't just something magical that happens overnight. We can have conscious shifting, we can have insights, we can have clarity, but that true work comes from a connection with self. It's not knowledge. So knowledge keeps you in your head. Understanding something, even being able to recite it, even knowing something, doesn't mean you're actually embodying it. If we're talking about true spiritual ascension or true soul connection, that's an embodiment. That is a shifting of the actual energetics that are held within inside of you, as well as the consciousness, and truly feeling it, experiencing it, living it, and being it, not just being able to speak about it. And from my read on it, AI is just speaking about it. It's not doing the embodiment practice of it. It is just regurgitating information that's put inside of it or information that it finds within inside Google.
Yeah, and the bottom line is it ultimately is just a computer.
Yeah.
Right? So whatever is put into it is what it's going to utilize. And I think the embodiment piece is so important. That is, if we were meant to follow AI blindly into this, kaleidoscope it's creating, then we wouldn't be here. Like we need it more than it needs us.
Yeah.
And it is a tool. And that the idea that we can embody this shift and the idea that we are able to hold in ourselves psychically, emotionally, I think is another word that we need to play in here too. And, spiritually and soulfully, all of those things being lined up, that can't happen in a computer.
Yeah. And
so it might sound good, and I think you're right. If it's what you're looking for, you're going to find it. There's that, because our brains want to do that. But ultimately, to know and grow and express yourself as a whole being requires you to be in touch with your body, mind, and spirit. And those things aren't going to be found on the other side of a screen.
Mm-mm. But I do think, here's one thing that I would say to people, is that I think AI is so beneficial. There's so many amazing things you could do with it. But one of the things that people do have to be aware of is stop giving AI all of your power. One of the things that I have seen is that people are no longer trying to learn new things. They're no longer trying to experience new things. They're like, AI will do it. AI will do it. AI will draft my, my offer letter. AI will draft my book on how to connect, with your heart deeper, or how to, truly tap into self-love. And we want to be careful that we don't give our power away, because you can. The point of life and the point of existence here is to tap deeper into who you are, what you know, that conscious connection that you have, that authenticity that only you can bring. If we're expecting a computer to replace that, a computer to replace our words, our computer to replace the knowledge that we have, then you're giving away your power, and ultimately you're disconnecting from your soul. So use it as the tool that it is, but do not let it replace that true purpose of being here, which is that connection. I see people getting kicked out of medical school because they're writing papers or doing tests with AI. Kids in high school don't know how to write anymore because they're using AI. We want to make sure that we're still living in the full embodiment of who we are and what we came here to do, and don't let a computer replace that. This is fun. I feel like we should do a couple more.
I know, like maybe
People
this is fun. I like it.
Rapid fire questions
Yes.
at us, and we can answer that. Thank you so much for being on here. Thank you.
Thank you
for
so
doing
much
this
for
with
having
me.
This
Yeah.
was fun.
Thank you.
Love it.
If you guys subscribe if you enjoyed this. If you want us to answer more questions for you, please comment them underneath. Send us some messages on any of our social medias.
I'll see you next time on the Oracle on Purpose podcast.